Hello, astrologer Bryan Colter here for your astrology report for the upcoming Libra new moon, which occurs on September 28th at 11:27 a.m. Pacific time. This video is going to be a little different than my other ones. I've received a lot of requests to do a guided meditation. So I'm going to start off this video by doing the normal astrological analysis and discussing the archetypes and energies that are really emphasized now and that are running through human consciousness in a really strong way. And then we will shift gears and dip into a meditation. It'll be kind of a hybrid video. That way, we can take the symbols I discuss and apply them to a meditation and use the superpower that is our focused intent and have a co-creative experience with these energies. This is a perfect time to do this more meditative approach because we're getting this final hoorah of this Jupiter-Neptune square that we've been experiencing all year. And it will finally start to subside around, October 20th, give or take a couple days on either side. So therefore, it's important for us to wring out as much potential as we can from this auspicious union. I've been talking a lot about it in my videos, so I won't go into great detail again. But basically, it's a massive expansion or influx of psychic energies. The veil between dimensions are thinning. Now, what we do with the energy is up to us. We can use it to deepen the efficacy and power of our meditations. That's the high end. Or we can handle the energy in less controlled ways, which tends to manifest as erratic behavior, spaciness, and sometimes addictive or escapism tendencies. Again, I talked about it at length in my last video, so I'll put a link above here for those of you who missed it. But this Jupiter-Neptune square is deepening our connection to higher dimensions of reality and amplifying higher frequencies of energy, and of course attuning our psychic antenna, so to speak, to tap in to those higher frequencies. So not only does that deepen our awareness and our meditative states, but it also gives our creative energy a turbo boost. And creativity is a good segue word to where we're headed next. Libra new moon. During this new moon, we have 4 planets in Libra, which we'll talk about, but massive Libran energy. And at one level, Libra is known as the artist. That's one of the archetypes. So creativity being into a focus here. And for those of you who are artistic and like to follow that path, look for Neptunian heightened sensitivity to be applied to Libra in such a way that we're more sensitive to colors, shapes, and sounds, and we're able to channel some pretty amazing creative works. The main thing I want to talk about, though, is relationship, because the other main archetype for Libra is the lover, and it's an innately relationship-oriented sign. And it's also ruled by Venus, the goddess of love, sweet Madam Venus. So we have the sun, the moon, Venus, and Mercury all in Libra. And I'll point out that Venus actually rules Libra. So whenever a planet's in its own sign, it's very strong. So we got Libra energy on steroids right now, getting juiced by this Jupiter-Neptune square. Furthermore, we also have the Venus and the Mercury in what's called a square aspect, a hard angle, 90 degrees, with Saturn and Pluto. So a lot to unpack here. Besides the Jupiter-Neptune square that's been happening this year, that's one major event. The other big one, arguably even bigger than that one, is the Saturn-Pluto conjunction that's been happening all year. Will continue to be happening until January of 2020. They've just been dancing in the sky together all year. The major event, every astrologer that uses the 10-planet model has been talking about it all year. The words I keep coming to with these 2 planets is pressure cooker. Saturn and Pluto putting a tremendous amount of pressure on our psyches. Saturn, known as the Great Malefic, Pluto, known as the god of hell, and here they are in a pretty tight square to poor Madam Venus and Mercury up there in Libra. Now, squares are typically described as a bad aspect. Like, oh, bad stuff's going to happen. Oh, no, the Great Malefic god of hell squared, Venus, the goddess of love. Look out. Hell in relationship is kind of the fortune teller prediction. Okay. But, squares aren't bad. Squares are hard. It implies a friction, in this case, in our relationships. Now, what we do with the energy is up to us, but it basically forces us into action or forces us into reaction, depending on how we handle the energy. Saturn is simply the process of maturation. And of course, maturing can be a bumpy thing. Sometimes we're taught some pretty tough lessons. And this is why Saturn is, described as the so-called Great Malefic, because it wants us to change aspects of ourselves which we've outgrown. So growing pains can occur with Saturn, especially this year, with it next to Pluto. But the great prize of navigating Saturn times right, basically, with our own conscious awareness on it to grow and evolve, which of course is why we're here. The great prize with Saturn is a deepening of our self-respect, of our integrity, our maturation, and dignity. And those are wonderful things. We couple this with Pluto, which tends to bring up wounds from our deep psyche, sometimes emotional, psychological, and even karmic wounds that come out to play in our relationship dynamics. Now, Pluto, known as the planet of transformation, because as those wounds rise to the surface, if we choose to release and heal them, we transform. And that's the most optimal way to work with Pluto, even though sometimes it's uncomfortable, especially next to Saturn. So maturation through transformation. That is the big theme of the year. Now, we apply that now through this square to Venus-Mercury, applying friction, applying pressure on our relationships through this pressure cooker energy. Now, classically, our wounds tend to come out to play in our closest relationships. If you sleep with somebody for 8, 10, 12 weekends in a row, your stuff is just going to start to come up. We're going to press each other's buttons. Whatever behavior in your partner reminds your subconscious of how, for example, mom and dad treated you negatively as a child, or more accurately, how you perceived mom and dad treating you negatively as a child. Now, it doesn't have to be mom and dad. I'm just using that as a common example. But here we find your partner putting their finger in the wound. We learn how to press each other's buttons. And then we have this reflexive script of pain or anger or whatever, suffering. And then the cycle repeats, and we feed energy to that pain and strengthen it even more. Now, keep in mind, always with astrology, the level at which you feel this pressure cooker in your relationship is by and large dependent upon your own personal birth chart and how these planets are connecting with your own chart. If they're hitting sensitive places in your birth chart, you're going to feel this energy more than others. So we tie all these threads together and we find that we can heal. We can transform and in turn transform some of our relationship dynamics. But the best way to do that, in my humble opinion, is through meditation, especially during this time, during this last pulse of this Jupiter-Neptune square that still has a couple weeks of life left in it, where the veil of between dimensions are thinning, and we can do our part to facilitate or help speed up the mending of our wounds through meditation. And I'll add to this that Pluto, wounding associated with the Pluto process, lies deep in our subconscious mind. Now, we can directly access the subconscious through meditation with focused visualization, imagery, and intent. That is the language that the subconscious speaks. So all that said, let's now switch gears into our meditation. So, close your eyes. I find it's helpful to sit on the edge of the chair. It just helps to keep our back straight, feet flat on the ground. And just begin by focusing on your breath. Simple, rhythmic breathing. Now we want to do what I call the 4-4 breath pattern. 4 seconds per inhale, 4 seconds per exhale. 4 in, 4 out. Feel your chest expand when you inhale. Feel your chest push up against the fabric of your clothing. We're relaxing now, so we just want to put our conscious awareness into our body by focusing on the chest area as we breathe. Now bring your awareness all the way down into your toes. Feel like you're in your toes. Focus so strongly. Now imagine a snow white color in and around your toes. Visualize the snow white. Now bring your awareness up into your feet. Still visualize the color. Move up into your ankles. To your calf muscles. Up into the knees and the thighs. Snow white color. Feel your legs relax. Four in, 4 out. Up into your hips now. If your mind becomes distracted, just gently bring it back to the snow white color. Rising into the abdomen area now. Feel your belly expand as you breathe in and contract as you exhale. Bring your awareness up into your chest now. And into your arms, your upper arms. Flowing down into your elbows and forearms. And into your hands. Into the tips of your fingers. Now back up through your arms, up into your neck. Snow white color. And up into your head. Visualize your entire body as a snow white, inside and out. Now bring your awareness into your chest. And visualize a sphere in your chest area, not on your heart, but in your entire chest cavity. A rosy white color sphere. You can visualize it as a sun, a really bright rose-colored sun. A really light pink. With each inhale, see it become brighter and brighter. With each exhale, see it sustain that brightness. Brighter and brighter. If you become distracted, gently pull your awareness back to the color in your chest. Four in, four out. This is the center of our emotions and our desires. It's where we house the eternal spark of our soul. Ask for balance in your emotions and your unreasonable desires. And feel love. Feel self-love. Feel love for others. Compassion and joy. These feelings strengthen the color even more. Now I want you to visualize somebody in front of you. Somebody in your life who you've had issues with, who's caused you great strife and turmoil or friction in your relationship with this person. It can be a parent, a sibling, your partner, a close friend of yours, even a rival. Somebody who really knows how to press your buttons, and you to them. Visualize them in front of you as vividly as you can, with a neutral expression on their face. They're just looking at you blankly. Now I want you to extend this rosy white color out to them and envelop their entire body. And feel this connection, this color connecting both of you on a heart level. It's like you extending an energetic olive branch. Some love, some forgiveness, some understanding. And this compassion comes from an understanding that their behavior is basically a byproduct of their own suffering, their own wounds sustained from their upbringing, their karma. We're all doing the best we can. So this isn't condoning their behavior. You're just trying to reach a place of forgiveness. Because the pain and suffering you feel around this person is only hurting you. Still visualize the color surrounding both of you. And start to see their expressions soften. Start to see them look at you with loving eyes. Acceptance in their own heart. And feel the warmth between you. Feel the pain start to dissolve. Four in, four out. And say to yourself, I consciously choose to heal. I consciously choose to transform. I consciously choose to let go. Now bring your energy back into your heart space. See your chest glow. See your chest glow with this rosy white color. And feel the love in your heart, the forgiveness. Now bring your conscious awareness back into the room. Move a little bit. Wiggle your toes. So this is a powerful meditation. And over the next couple weeks, if you can carve out, 5 or 10 minutes a day and do this process, you will find that the charge between you and this person or different people will start to dissolve. Now, if the relationship is incredibly toxic and it's been going on for your entire life, like with family or something, it may take longer than a couple weeks. Like, for example, one of my teachers, he had a very bad relationship with his father. His father was a military dad, very stern, very abusive, the stern father archetype to an extreme level. And their relationship suffered great into my teacher's adult life. What he did was a bit extreme. I'm not saying this what needs to be done. But in this case, he cut off all communication with his dad for 9 months, which is a really long time. And every single day, he did a process very similar to this one. And when he reached out to his dad 9 months later, he'd done all his deep inner work with his subconscious mind. His relationship with his father completely changed. When he reached out to his dad hugged him, for the first time in probably forever, decades. And they connected on a deep level, and their relationship is amazing now. Because of this deep inner work he did, he pulled out the poison. He transmuted the pain into love. And he did it through working directly with his subconscious mind. And this meditation I just taught you is one way of doing that. So sit with it, work with it, see what happens, see if you can take this pressure cooker energy that we're feeling, our demons coming out to play, so to speak, and apply these energies practically in your life so that we can, mature, so we can transform and heal ourselves. As always, with the goal being to expand our consciousness.